Tonight, a black man from Indiana is accusing a group of white men of attacking him and threatening to lynch him, allegedly threatening to get a noose, claiming that he and his friends trespassed onto private property on their way to a public beach. Tonight, we're learning the FBI has launched a hate crimes investigation. Here's Alex Perez.
Tonight, investigations underway in Indiana after this disturbing video posted on social media showing a group of white men attacking a black man, 36-year-old Vaughxx Booker.
Let him go, dude.
The men hurling racist slurs and pinning Booker against a tree.
One of the gentlemen yells to his friend to get a noose. I thought these individuals were literally going to lynch me.
The ordeal unfolding July 4th at Lake Monroe near Bloomington, Indiana. Booker says he and his friend, who's white, were headed to the public beach when he says the men accused him of trespassing on private property. Booker says he tried to calmly talk to them but was assaulted. Booker says what saved him was that his friends and bystanders refused to leave. The county prosecutor saying she's waiting for investigators to turn the case in for review, but tonight we've learned the FBI is opening a hate crime investigation.
Our thanks to Alex Perez, and Vaughxx Booker joins us now. Thank you so much for your time, Vaughxx. As we just heard, Alex restated that you did suffer a concussion. How are you feeling physically, at least tonight?
I'm in good spirits. I'm pleased to see that the FBI has become involved. CO community officials step up and speak out, and to see the overwhelming support I received from my community.
Set the scene for us. Let's just backtrack for a moment. It was 4th of July. You were walking with friends to see the lunar eclipse. And then what happens?
So I'm hiking into the scene with some friends. We decided to do something that was more alternative for the 4th of July. So as we're hiking to the site to watch the lunar eclipse, we encounter a gentleman who has on a large oversized cowboy hat with a Confederate flag print on it. We're cordial. We continue walking. He drives the ATV up behind us. We engage for a moment. He tells us that we're on private property, that he owns the land. I knew we weren't really on private property because we were still just within the 150 feet zone of the beach. But rather than have any type of conflict, we just apologized and continued on to the event.
At what point did you realize that de-escalating the situation was not a possibility?
So at first we were having a productive conversation with 2 members of his group. I think we were really connecting. And then the gentleman that had the hat on joined us, and he was very belligerent. The situation quickly began to deteriorate. My friend and I, Ian, just opted to walk away. So as we were walking away, about a minute later, I hear footsteps quickly approach, and a man runs up behind me, tries to strike me, falls to the ground. Another man comes, there's a tussle, and before I know it, 5 gentlemen have me. They've dragged me to a tree. They're beating on my body. They're holding me down.
And you say that the men threatened to break your arms and said, get a noose, while telling your friends to leave the area. One of the men had that hat on, as you said, with a Confederate flag on it, and that they made statements about white power. So what's going through your mind during all of this?
Well, as I'm on the ground and I can feel the impacts on my body, and there's a scary moment where the gentleman jumps on my neck with both feet. I can feel his body weight. At this time, people are starting to hear the commotion and try to intervene. They're being stopped by other members of the group. I was scared for my life.
And you have said that you believe that you are alive today because folks stopped being bystanders. What do you think would have happened, asking you obviously to have a little conjecture here, if this incident were not caught on camera?
There was a scary moment during my press conference today when I was hearing some of the folks speak about the altercation, and a gentleman said he felt like they were enjoying injuring me, and that they took some type of twisted pleasure out of it. So I'm scared that the natural conclusion would just have been that they whether they actually hung me by a tree or they beat me to death, that I would have died.
Mm-hmm. In the FBI, as you mentioned, they've opened a hate crime investigation. Indiana conservation officers responded to the incident. In a statement, they tell ABC News that there is an active investigation now underway into what happened. So far, no charges, no arrests. In your opinion, what should happen to the men, not only who were involved in the incident, but also to the officers who responded to it?
Without a doubt, the men who assaulted myself and the other folks who were trying to intervene to de-escalate the situation and to save me should be swiftly brought to justice. We need to set a precedent that you cannot do this in America in 2020. This is something that is reprehensible, it's repulsive, it's the very worst of our society. As far as the officers, I felt like I was victimized twice. So everyone around me at this point is white. And I'm from a small town in Indiana, so I'm accustomed to that. But when these officers show up, the lead officer is completely discourteous. He seems combatant. He's accusatory. As I described to him that these men were lynching me and I was literally afraid for my life, he lectures me on property rights. I explained to him that we were on public property, but even if we weren't on public property, it still wouldn't matter, that my life had more value than any type of property.
Vaughxx Booker, we are so thankful that you did not become a hashtag, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.